While I haven't reviewed any of the Kingdom Hearts games yet on Don Critic, I'm actually a really big fan of the series. Up there, for me, with God of War. Especially the first two games that made up a strong percentage of my childhood and are very close to my heart. This love for the franchise being the only reason I'd spend £50 on a rhythm game by Square Enix. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, a recent spin-off from the main RPG games which takes you through the soundtrack of each of the games in the series and as you tap the corresponding button along a 3-tiered bar line. The least I was expecting from this game was being thrown into a nostalgic dream, revisiting old locations, meeting old friends, and of course, taking a trip through the amazing music from Kingdom Hearts composed by Yoko Shimomura. And I have to say, this is definitely how it started. After going through the options menu and the tutorial, I was back in Destiny Islands. It was autumn of 2002 once again. My dad had come home with a brand new game for the living room's PlayStation 2, a game with Disney characters and those spiky haired folks from them Final Fantasy games I had watched my dad play. Playing this game brought all those strong memories back. This game certainly lived up to its name in just the first hour. Kingdom Hearts is such a powerful series in nostalgia, yeah, because it has Disney characters in it and Disney worlds, but also because all these songs in these games and the tracks are so well composed, so memorable, and are so easy to get caught up in, humming them every time you hear them. From the upbeat theme of Destiny Islands, to the more slower and somber theme of Traverse Town, to the countless remixes of famous Disney songs, or Kingdom Hearts' ferocious battle themes. Although 100 songs into Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, it begins to dawn on you the realism of what this game is really all about. A tiresome Guitar Hero wannabe, Melody of Memory has only one sole purpose, and creating nostalgia it isn't. Melody of Memory is to simply recap the events of this convoluted franchise, to tell its audience what everything actually means, probably before the next Kingdom Hearts game comes along and confuses us even more. Unfortunately, it's not the best at doing that. Melody of Memory sits you in your gummy ship, giving you a huge level select that contains almost every world from all the main Kingdom Hearts games, and each world has 1 or 2 tracks to play. This game simply covers the story of the series all the way to the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, and is narrated by Kairi. Now, the majority of the gameplay is your pretty industry standard Guitar Hero style rhythm game we've seen a lot before. But instead of tapping a button matching the one on the screen, you instead press the button you'd normally press during a Kingdom Hearts game. So for example, X to attack enemies, circle to jump, triangle for a special attack, and so forth. This still makes the game feel like a Kingdom Hearts game, but unfortunately I think this is where it's weakest. See, what you'll notice is like 80 songs later in the campaign, the gameplay really feels like you're just fighting over music playing in the background, rather than creating music through your button presses, which is what a rhythm game is supposed to convey. It's not easy to explain, but Melody of Memory feels like it's just going through the motions rather than taking full advantage of the potential of what a rhythm game could be in this series. I was singing along to the music in this game because I knew the songs, not because my input was creating a beat that I wanted to move to. When you hit an enemy, it just creates the standard keyblade slashing noise, which a lot of the time overpowers the songs themselves. That being said, when there's a fast-paced section of the song, it can be super awesome to press all the buttons correctly, getting a high score, but these moments of joy were few and far between. In terms of recapping this convoluted saga, Melody of Memory tells the briefest version of the games possible, having an odd cutscene here and there. Even Jiminy's journal, which I deem the best way to catch up about events and characters in Kingdom Hearts games, is completely left out of this installment, which is a huge shame. It could have meant the first time we'd seen all the characters and enemies throughout the franchise in one place. Melody of Memory is just so cheap and lazy to do something like this. Every asset in the game is reused from the older games, none of the game's models or environments are used from Kingdom Hearts 3, nothing has been updated updated with new models and textures, none of the cutscenes have been revised from the older games. Melody and Memory looks like it would have ran pretty smoothly on the PlayStation 2. In terms of content, this game has over 100 tracks, it's got a battle mode which you can play online, and a co-op mode to play split screen, but it's lacking in terms of those finer details that Kingdom Hearts veterans will notice. For example, you can go to your party select and you can't even change the outfits of your characters, so you're stuck looking at Kingdom Hearts 1 Sora even when doing Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 songs. The game has the correct hero sidekicks seen throughout the series, so you can play a song from the Neverland world, Peter Pan is gonna join you. However, not all of them are here, like play any of the multiple Halloween Town songs, and unfortunately Jack Skellington won't be by your side, despite him being in the other Kingdom Hearts games. It's also a shame when you play these songs in certain worlds, Sora, Donald and Goofy don't don their unique costumes. And some main themes like Simple and Clean or Sanctuary, beautiful songs, don't even have their full versions in the battle gameplay and end halfway through the song, which is a huge bummer. However, Melody and Memory does try to shake things up by having another style of gameplay for songs that have a video in the background, or for a boss battle in which your party fights the boss in the background whilst you press the correct buttons flying on screen. These are much better in conveying that rhythm game feel, the boss fights especially, as if you make a mistake, Sora won't dodge or parry the boss's attacks and take damage in the fights happening in the background. This was something so unique, but again, sadly Melody and Memory has so few of these stages that you'll forget they even exist during your time between them. I can maybe get it that doing one for every single boss from every game may have, took some effort, but it's even missing a boss stage with Marluxia, it's missing a boss stage with Axel, even a boss stage with Terranaut. I think there's like 4 in the entire game, out of like well over 100 songs. Kingdom Hearts is one of my most favoured video game series of all time, and how well it got me into RPGs in such an enjoyable and accessible way. And while Melody and Memory tries to honour this series' legacy, it just doesn't do it much justice, missing so many specific details which made the previous games so memorable. Having a more interesting game design, but using it too sparingly. And not even having a playlist feature in the campaign, forced to return to the world select after every single song, even ones present in the same world, really dampens the pace of this game. Would be much smoother if the worlds acted as a playlist and you played through the same planet songs back to back, much like in the Hero series of games where the next song transitions at the end of the last, so the flow of music doesn't get tired out by loading screens and menus. I hate to criticise this game so much, as it really did bring a smile to my face and a tear to my eye with how many memories it gave me. But that's all credit to those previous games, not this one. Melody of Memory was a laborious letdown. Yes, it has over 100 brilliant, fantastic songs, but it's a chore to play, and if you want a recap of the series, there's better videos on YouTube. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory gets a C- for its astounding soundtrack alone. Thank you everyone for watching this Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory review, and I hope I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, have a fantastic day.